In all fairness, when you don't know the context, this was terrible. Here's the unfortunate reality. There are still people on this planet that still don't think the internet can affect their daily lives. So they like to say the first thing that comes to their mind as soon as they see somebody that looks like you. Perhaps that they're not corrupt, but that they don't have the evidence to indict the person on the crimes that you're accusing of. And he's willing to sign that check.
What's going on, guys? Future Complexity here. Just wanted to say that unfortunately everything seems to be on a single track, so we're unable to go ahead and edit audios by themselves, which really sucks because, as you can tell, I am sick in this video and I really wanted to cut out the coughing and sniffling and all of that. We apologize, guys, but this video and the next video will have a single track on them, and we will be making sure in the future to go ahead and make sure that everything is up to standards. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the very first episode of us having the new name change. We've gone from the after show to the lasting opinion. So we felt like it was time for us to just start making some improvements around here. And lo and behold, MamaMax decided to drop a 3-hour video, potentially a hit piece on Muta for our viewing pleasure. What better way to start out a whole new chapter on us than to be going back to something from however long ago? Fucking over a year plus.
Something like that. We're close.
Yeah,
it's one of the first things we covered as the after show, which I'm glad that you opened us because I would have started us as the after show. I'm so used to doing this, so the old intro, yes. I wouldn't have even thought about it.
But new things coming, new things on the horizon. But let's get right into this video because it's over 3 hours, and much like the last one, it's probably full of a bunch of lies, hypocrisy, disingenuous chimp clipping. So here we go. MamaMax's Muta is a complete fraud.
Today's video is the most serious I might have made in my entire career on this platform.
Hello, guys and gals. Me, MamaMax here. And
you see, the thing that I hate the most about him.
Hello, guys.
Well,
gals. Me, Mom.
Is that his, like, you can argue with me on this, but he wants everyone to take his videos seriously, but then he does dumb shit like this. Like, he does these like little editorial things where he's all jokey or super expressive or something like that. And it's like, why should we take your product serious if you yourself don't even seem to be taking it serious?
No, I can agree with you on this because he really does have this tendency to really talk about something serious, but do little jokes like this, and that's part of the reason why things with Camded Davis didn't go well in the first place. Like, there's just so many inconsistencies.
He reminds me a lot of, and I don't know if anybody who watches us knows about this, but he reminds me a lot of Flamenco TV, old commentary creator back in the day who got completely eviscerated and ousted by the YouTube commentary community because he couldn't admit when he was wrong. Like, he couldn't admit fault. He couldn't see anything. Like, he was upset with this commentator creator that we've actually covered. I just can't remember his name, but he was like threatening to call his mom and send his mom like videos of what he was saying about her online in an effort to hopefully get him kicked out of his house because he believed that he lived with her. But then he would get upset at other people who were like talking about doxing him or contacting his family or his friends or anything like that. It's like, it's a complete hypocritical double standard. Or he would make jokes about like killing people, but then Salvo Pancakes made a joke about killing him, and he was like pearl clutching to the nth degree over it.
Sounds like something Tipster would do.
It was worse than Tipster. If you guys don't know that, you definitely want to check it out. Nicholas Diorio versus Flamenco TV. Freaking Turkey Tom gets involved with it too. Bo Black's back before he was a loser got involved with it too. Like, it's a great like saga.
And on January 17th, 2024, my best friend, my bro, Muta, YouTuber Some Ordinary Gamers, created his most serious video he might have made in his entire career on this platform by defaming me after asking for his help on one of the most serious of cases. Thanks, Muta. I can tell by the red lighting that this is in fact your most serious video you might have made in your entire career on this platform. And this is my response.
You still going the movie route with this shit, man. The slow scroll. Like, come on, we get it, we get it.
It's a video about someone I and many in the community considered a friend. Today, I personally don't consider this person a friend. I consider them a liar.
And the crazy thing too is he's literally using his name. He's using his full name in a video. Yeah. Like, bro, are you serious?
Listen. This whole thing is like it's like a fucking indoctrination. It's like trying to brainwash you.
Yes, that's exactly what it is.
That this guy is evil. Like he opens it up with, this is Muta, this is blah blah blah, and this is what he did wrong. And then we got the slow build and like the painted of fraud, and then we got this sizzle reel. It's like flashing information to the sleeper agent. Like, this is what you got to remember. He's bad, guys.
Yeah, and we all know that Muta is a snake. He's a freaking spineless coward. We all understand that. And I'm gonna call my shot like Babe Ruth here. By the end of this video, Muta still gonna be a piece of shit. MamaMax is still gonna be a piece of shit, and we're not gonna have any evidence proving that Cameron Gerard Davis is a cult leader. It's almost like this. It's almost like second verse, same as the first, bro. Like, come on. And I hate this like flashing of all these pictures. Like, we get it. You guys used to be friends, and then
it's like they're trying to implant the information on the sleeper agent, bro. It's like they're trying to make and fucking brainwash you.
But it's crazy. Like, this is gonna be his second video, but third segment of a friend being in his shitty friend group being a shitty friend. Him and Muta both, all that entire freaking friend group was carnivorous to each other, and they all talk shit about each other. Ousted one of their friends, freaking Midnight Docs, as potentially a pedophile and laughed about it. And then Max comes out and he's like, no, guys, I was a bad guy, but they were bad too. Like, and it's like, you're all pieces of shit. Like, that's just the bottom line. You're all pieces of shit.
Do you think his next video is gonna be like a 4-hour video on like Moist Critical and like how he did nothing?
No, I highly doubt he'd be dumb enough to take that shot.
He would be retarded.
Yeah. We get it.
In particular, making what I believe to be a mockery of these types of serious investigations.
My name is Spencer, and I am a survivor of Camded Gerard Davis.
Wait a second. Go back 10 seconds. No, go back another 10 seconds. What is that? Brainwash your favorite influencer.
Yeah, that was Max's.
Talking about brainwash. Yeah,
that was Max's video. Brainwash your favorite influencer. That was his call to action. And then he did the survivors versus YouTube and all that BS.
And I am a survivor of Camden Gerard Davis, the leader of a destructive cult that has victimized hundreds of minors.
And we've only managed to collect 4 of them. There's hundreds of them out there, but these 4 here, Jesus Christ, you need 1 more and you'll have the freaking victims' Infinity Stones.
Is our screen for action.
A 16-year-old girl from Wiley, Texas, mysteriously disappeared, lured by the illusion of joining a supernatural family.
Well, she didn't disappear, she ran away. Well, she sombered away, okay? She didn't run, she sombered away.
Empire on some random corner of the internet. She actually found herself ensnared in a dangerous cult led by a child posing as a werewolf god.
It's crazy that he's accusing Muta of defaming him, yet there's 0 evidence that freaking Camded is a pedophile or a child predator whatsoever. Like, out of everybody here,
kind of look like he's got Down syndrome, do you?
He somewhat, yeah. But it's like, it's like, how are you gonna scream defamation when you've literally for over a year been calling this dude a child predator with no proof, no evidence whatsoever? Like,
on the kettle black, bro. It's like you're literally doing the same thing. At the end of this video, that's all that's gonna prove that you're both pieces of shit.
Yeah, and it's funny, of all the people who could be getting money out of this, the one dude who could is Camded, and he hasn't filed any lawsuits yet.
How does this explain the cult? How does this explain anything?
Wait, I do want to say something. Pause.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna joke about Camden Gerard Davis, but that is only on the grounds that we don't have evidence of him doing anything.
Yeah.
If it comes out later that he has actually done things, we did not know. We are not aware of that.
I don't see him being a freaking cult leader with hundreds of minors under him, but I mean, yeah, we'll see what happens.
He is presenting these screenshots like they're damning evidences, and they are not. I'll say what the evidence appears, at least. It feels like there's definitely a bad. It's like the worst I can see is somebody taking advantage of people, emotionally, sexually, physically.
Okay. The thing is, though, with that, he clipped the fuck out of that one. Hold on.
I'll say what the.
Here's the actual thing that he said.
Appears, at least. It feels like there's definitely a bad. It's like the worst I can see is somebody taking advantage of people, emotionally, sexually, physically. You know what I mean? Maybe it's a bad relationship, maybe evidence of that. But it doesn't have to become oh, this is a systemic cult or something where people are being brought in by the hundreds, right?
Yeah, exactly. I know that.
So he says, yes, I can see that people potentially were maybe harmed during a relationship, a platonic or a romantic relationship between the two of them, but I don't believe this was a cult. And you got freaking Max here turning around and just taking the clip of him saying, yeah, they could have been sexually, physically, emotionally abused, and then completely cutting out the complete context of what he's saying. He said he could see them being abused in those ways in a relationship, but not in a cult aspect.
He's calling out himself in literally less than a minute or less than 2 minutes. He's going to come on. He's going to start talking about how evil Mutahar is and how he's poisoning the well. Bro, you just poisoned the well yourself by using clipped content.
And he did it with the last video too, which we pointed out, and Diorio pointed out as well with actual shit to come back at him with. But it's just crazy the amount of clipping he's doing and taking shit out of context, and it's bro, no. And I agree.
Crazy? You know what's crazy about this? With MamaMax, I hope that there's evidence that this guy is a fucking psychopath. Because let me tell you, I want him to be right. I want him to be vilified. I like MamaMax because he's got this sense of gusto. He is talking on he's got this passion to do this. And I'd like there to be just a major misunderstanding and this whole thing come to an end.
If that was the case,
you make a video, you're doing bullshit. Okay, stop.
If that was the case, he would have just released the evidence already. But I will agree with something that Mutahar said in that call that we just looked at. MamaMax messed up by bringing this to the commentary community. He could have kept it in the freaking true crime retards of America over there, who just believe anything and everything because it's their favorite YouTuber. You bring it to the commentary community and they're going to eviscerate it. They're going to look into it. They're going to dive into it because they're not just going to propel somebody's accusation as evidence.
Legal shit that happened.
The community and the drama community don't go hand in hand as you might think.
No.
Now I'm finding out that there is evidence. There could actually be some serious evidence, I believe, hiding behind here.
You want to know why that is, though? Hold on, pause. I just want to clarify something. Do you want to know why that is? That's because people in the drama community report on internet crimes.
Well, I also think it's because
my Fifi's hurt.
I also think it's because in a lot of true crime, unless you're watching, or even if you do watch EWU or body cams or stuff of that nature, a lot of the time they already know the end of the story, so they put the knowledge they have of the end of the case throughout the video. And I hate when they do that because they'll be like, and it was at this moment that, freaking blankety blank realized he had been caught. And it's no. We don't know that. There's no way of knowing that. Or they'll be
not a good way to tell a narrative.
Yeah, or they'll be
it's just tainted.
It's tainted. It's tainted information. Yep. Or it'll be and then the police came in knowing that he was lying. And it's well, you only know that because you know the end result of the freaking thing. If you were just watching the interrogation video on its face, you wouldn't know all of this information.
That's why I like Ewu. That's why I like Ewu.
I mean, they're guilty of it sometimes too, because even so, they'll be it's important to know that body language is not a verifiable thing in court. But we're going to talk about it all throughout this video. And if you look at him, he's leaned forward exactly 2 degrees, which is 3 degrees less than what psychopaths do. So maybe he's crazy, but he's not a psychopath. And it's shut the fuck, shut up with all that dumbass.
It's overanalyzing at that point.
Yeah, it's stop.
serious justice for anybody involved in this situation that feels that they've been wronged. Look, there are real people that I believe have been hurt by this. Ain't no way any dumbass is falling for no vampire Twilight shit. And
Okay, yes, that is a good point, but it's a great point, but it's funny because he completely clipped that out too. Hold on.
considering, I am giving my full support as much as I can. I would just want to come out and just be like, fuck you, I think you're all lying cretins. Whether that be emotionally.
I'm not laughing, bro. I'm howling.
Terrible.
Yeah,
Not really. Not if you listen to the entire thing. I mean, listen. Are there actual victims here? Absolutely. You want to know who the victim is? The victims are the people who thought that they were victims or convinced themselves that they were victims. Again, going off the premise that this is all fake because we haven't seen any evidence otherwise. And then they ended up getting harassed by the commentary communities, by not even the commentary community, by the internet. They got harassed by the internet because of the lack of information, the lack of evidence.
I'm howling at the.
And
this isn't even some big revelation. This was posted over a year ago. Like, you could literally go and see the way he reacted and the way everyone reacted.
That's kind of the problem of all this is not just the fact that we're responding in this way, but the fact that it took you so long, buddy. Like, over a year. I understand the whole premise. Like, I listened to the other video. You went through some shit. I get it. But to essentially be radio silent for like a whole year, doesn't help your case.
No, not at all.
whatever form of financial, like, benefit that I can, reasonably provide. That's all that I can do.
Dude, I'm fucking pay for that dude's defamation case, bro. There is no fucking retribution here. I'd be so fucking mad at this point, dude.
Sounds like Camden needs to start up a GoFundMe. I think he'd get supporters.
I'll just be like, listen, Camden, I'll write you a blank fucking check, because this is not fucking cool at all.
It was so fucking heartbreaking hearing Muta sit there and say that. I'll gladly put money towards Camden's defamation trial. How do you think that it makes myself and the other survivors feel when you're saying that? It is okay to think that, but you're going publicly and saying that to everybody else when you haven't spoken to the others. I'm just trying to understand, why would you do that without talking to us?
Dude, this is the most... There's no reason to talk to you guys because you put Max as the front runner. He's the one who's supposed to be giving the information. He made 3 videos supposedly explaining what was going on, and none of it made sense. None of it made any sense whatsoever.
Huge rape review on YouTube right now. Just to be clear, this is why I didn't want to platform her. These jokes hit a lot harder when she's not in the call, and it's a lot less. I'm gonna be honest.
This isn't a fucking Netflix show. This is a serious, heinous crime. Do you think it's too late, Nick, to get Spencer and Camden on, like, a set?
You know what's funny is that in his original video, the reason why he's saying that is because he's talking to Max, saying that he was mishandling the situation and treating it more like it was a movie than it was an actual crime. Like, you're just taking him out of complete context, bro. Max, if your objective was to make Muta look at least somewhat okay, you're getting there, because the more you take him out of context, the easier it is for him to respond and just simply be like, no, Max is a piece of shit. This is what I actually said. Did I lie about this? Did I do that? Sure, but I'm not lying here. He's taking me out of context. All these different things. Now, Muta is a piece of shit, but you're giving him an avenue to rebuild his freaking rebuild his character in the eyes of everybody else.
I come out dressed up like Maury Povich, and we do For a serious topic like this, please stop the theatrics. Present this with the respect it deserves.
The 3D ultrasound Demi's Applebee's Max.
Alfred, I'm sending you scans. Can you confirm if there's a werewolf inside?
I'm seeing 32% of the fetus is still currently lodged in there, Batman. Like, what the fuck?
Of course, Master Wayne. I'll run this through the back computer. And that's what bugs me. Why are we not treating this with actual respect?
Because the police report states that there are allegations from her own mother saying that there are allegations that her grandpa, like essayed her.
Dude, I'm just sitting. No, dude. The funnier reality is that they just won't.
What
give
would
the
the grandpa look
because...
like if they were black or Chinese, though?
it. I quit.
Look, this is a serious matter. Please present it seriously.
I feel so bad for laughing at this, you
This is why everyone likes my show better. We don't have to pretend we're taking it serious.
These girls have to sit there and basically realize that their entire story is being invalidated in real time, is being made a mockery of in real time.
Yeah, we're making a podcast and we're just having just rape victims on it the whole time. Who's our first guest here? It's like, well, this person's really...
Well, I know what show to bring them on.
You know what's funny is that he's showing all of this, but this is way more entertaining than any of the videos he's put out thus far. Like, all of this is way more entertaining than anything MamaMax has made. I'm sorry. It's funny. And Max is relying on the fact that he has a different sector of the internet. He has like SA victims who follow him, and that are basically, he's trying to say, look guys, they're making jokes about rape. You should hate all of them. You should just, demonize them. Blah, 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 blah. Two different spectrums of YouTube. Way too different.
Weaponize that audience.
Yep.
Our first rape victim, let's bring in Spencer!
Who's the next high-profile victim we're gonna have on this podcast?
This Sunday night!
In all fairness, when you don't know the context, this looks terrible.
When you don't know the context, yeah, but that's the thing. Max is cutting out all context here. Now, you could make the argument that laughing about rape isn't okay. Totally fine. You're allowed to do that. But at the same time, just because it's not funny to you doesn't mean it's not funny. Like, that's just the bottom line.
Sunday night, the biggest victim of them all!
Oh my god.
Dude, fucking...
She was raped by 1,000,000 men!
It's obvious his chat was cool with it.
Like, he had convinced me to have someone bring me to his house. He beat me and then me.
But the transformation process is really dangerous on your body, especially because you're young. So from there, she had me put stuff in my body and told me to pretend it was his. I was 14.
During the midst of it, I tried to scream. I was screaming no and screaming for help. And he put his hand on my throat and choked me and told me that if I kept screaming, he would kill not just me, but my family too. When it was done, he got off of me and he went across the room and he looked at me, saw me crying, and he said, "What just happened?" And I looked at him and I told him, "You just me."
Dude, everyone just...
Yeah, that sounds super believable. I'm sorry, but it just...
Here's a question. Maybe it's retarded. That's a mugshot. He's clearly been arrested. Why did he get arrested for?
He got arrested for breaking into a car.
The level of this abuse that they're reporting, there's gotta be
something, some sort of criminal history.
There's gotta be some type of paper trail. You should be flashing that on screen. I don't want to see his Down syndrome ass.
Oh,
right?
they tried. They
did.
He put up a fake police report. MamaMax put up a fake police report.
That's so great.
Or a face arrest record. But it's funny that you did say that.
Are
this
you going
dude,
for the cinematic? Are you trying to do a inspired by story? Is that what you're trying to pull off, MamaMax?
It is funny that you said that he looks like he's down with the syndrome. So it's if he truly is, do you really think he has the cognitive ability to be running a cult or something? He's yeah, I'm a werewolf. Unless
it's a cult about grilled cheeses.
He's hey, do you want to leave Texas? You come over here. I am a vampire. You want to come over here? I'm a vampire. And
we need to stop. We need to cut that out. We need to cut that out.
He's Spencer, my mama makes me hamburgers every day. If you want to come over here.
That's enough.
And I looked at him and I told him, "You just me.
Dude, everyone just
like, what did I do? I whipped
You're fucking me over going like this and then going back to such a terrible recounting of something heinous.
Supposedly.
gang in this universe, bro. What the fuck?
Shut up! Muta!
Dude!
All I've seen is a character here that has made a mockery out of serious investigations, covered things with no due diligence, and this kind of a thin rope ultimately leads to collateral damage for everybody else involved. Making claims like this and causing a big mockery of this situation ultimately puts the case that is being built at risk. Speaking with more of the victims after this...
I gotta tell you something. That face haunts me enough in my dreams. I don't need you to reinforce it. Okay?
You know what's crazy?
I get what you're going for, but I could do without it.
You know what's crazy? If he had just spent all the amount of time that he has on all of these videos and just put it towards the documentary, he could own everyone. Like, if this is real,
realize that it takes a shocking amount of time to record and edit videos.
Yeah,
the amount of time that this is probably taking him is stupid. You have so many better things you could be doing.
All of these multi-hour-long videos that he put out, and yet he hasn't spent any time, supposedly, as far as we know, putting the freaking evidence together and putting it out. Why do you think that is?
This first 7 minutes probably took a good solid day's work, like 8 hours. That probably took 8 hours to make that 7 minutes. I'm not gonna lie.
It's just crazy. It's just crazy. Why don't you have this same level of drive in putting out the information?
Myself, I feel very disgusted hearing any more about the situation and the things that have been alleged to go behind it, which is why I'm doing my due diligence to at least try and help these victims out, but privately, not a public spectacle like Max is doing.
We are real, Camden Gerard Davis. Whatever you may or may not have done, I'm not really sure.
Today's video is the most serious I might have made in my entire career on this platform. It's a video I don't want to make because it's personally so uncomfortable.
Mutahar, I thought you were going to be serious. If you didn't want to make this video because it makes you so uncomfortable, why did you continue to make multiple videos on this topic despite...
Money. Like,
literally insert Mr. Krabs saying money.
Like, seriously,
These content creators. Listen. I'm sorry to dash your hopes and dreams of like the true passion, but especially when it comes to drama content, they aren't saying this stuff because they're entirely passionate about every single thing. Okay, they're saying it because they like money. You think Philip DeFranco likes to report on the news every single day? You think his pulse is on the fucking Democratic news? No, it is not.
It's funny because it's like Tommy C says, "Well, you think I do this for free? I do it to get paid." And then you have Chad Logic who's like, "Look, I know we're scraping the bottom of the barrel here with drama, but I got bills to pay." And then you got Diora who's like, "I need another pinball machine." Like, what do you mean? Like, it's not unheard of. People do this because one, they like it, and two, they like getting paid. Like, he was at the focal center of all of this too. Why wouldn't he make more videos?
Why do you think Luigi 298 has such a large cock now in his mind? He's got money.
Yep.
Stalking that you're causing to both.
Oh, I hate this so much.
Videos on this topic, despite the cyberbullying and cyber stalking that you're causing.
Cyberbullying and cyber stalking that Muta is causing. Max, last I checked, you're the one who gave out your government name and said to check your background. And if I also remember correctly, you called out Kiwi Farms. So you fucked yourself. You played yourself, bro.
You played yourself. Granted, that does not condone the people that are doing that shit.
It doesn't.
It's still gay. It's still very homosexual. But yeah, you self-report, not self-reported, but you like fell on your own sword and oh no, it hurts. It stings a little. How dare it?
You dipped your toes into the cesspool that is the commentary community, and you went, "Oh, that hurts!" Like you stepped on glass and are wondering why your feet are bleeding.
Hit you, oh boy.
Yep.
Both me and the survivors.
I would very much like to point out that Muta going on to Tommy C and Lyrics, that brings more people that dislike that dislike Max out. There are people that are literally cyber stalking survivors right now.
You also attended up to 12 hours of live stream.
To get behind a camera of a man who's insane.
And they were the ones who pushed to go on the live streams and do all those AMAs and shit like that. Like, it's your own fault. You see, this is why you don't get like people, you don't get ordinary people and put them in front of a camera, like especially to millions of freaking people. Like, they're going to say something stupid.
With your commentary buddies.
Regardless, here's the unfortunate reality. There are still people on this planet that still don't think the internet can affect their daily lives. So they like to say the first thing that comes to their mind as soon as they see somebody that looks like you.
And not only that, but there's just
as you will.
There's just people who don't give a shit. Like, no matter what.
They don't. They will work a job that they've worked at for 20 years, look at the boss, call them whatever slur they want, and then they will go home and say the exact same slur online, and they do not care if you try to out them to their job.
Nope.
About us and the case.
I'm gonna say it, like, the true crime audience is like the most retarded audience on YouTube. You could fucking feed them the biggest load of bullshit, and 9 times out of 10 they'll believe it.
I don't think you're being...
Which is true. I'm sorry, it is. Like, there's not a lot of critical thinkers out there. They think, oh, well, they have all of this information, so it obviously has to be true. They don't think twice about it. And a lot of the time, unless you're watching from real credible sources like EWU or freaking Law and Crime, like legitimate law networks or networks that work in tandem with the police to a degree, a lot of the time, if you're doing this with like regular people like you and I who are covering something, most of the time they put their own biases in there. They are like, oh, I know it's true. I know it's true. Even though there's no evidence supporting it whatsoever, I know it's true just by the look in their eyes. Like, you,
so
there's
for me, when it comes to true crime, I specifically stick with Law and Order body cam or Law and Order in general, as well as EWU, because if you look at their content,
Law and Crime,
their sources, they are. What did I say?
Law and Order. Dun dun.
Oh, Law and Crime. Yeah. So Law and Crime, not Law and Order. Yeah, no. This isn't the Special Victims Unit.
They might need it.
Both these channels.
I think Spencer counts for 3 victims. She's at least 3 victims wide. You stick with those ones. You stick with Law and Crime, and you.
They're credible.
Yeah, they're credible.
They're credible. See, that's the whole thing, buddy. MamaMax, listen. Your story hasn't been covered by Law and Crime or fucking EWU yet. I don't know if it's real. I can't trust it.
It hasn't been displayed on any credible network whatsoever. And I don't mean network like freaking CBS or anything. I mean any credible news outlet, any credible anything.
Mm-hmm.
I think you're being quite dishonest, actually.
But at no point is anything that I'm going to be doing anymore regarding the situation public. I'm never going to be making a follow-up video.
Hello guys and gals, me Mutahar, and it's been 7 days since I covered a pretty wild story on YouTube. Now, since then, it's been quite an explosion.
I legit don't give a shit that he didn't do that. Like, who cares? There's so many people who have been like, hey, I'm not going to cover this anymore. And then new information comes out and they're like, well, shit, now I have to cover it.
Hey, guess what, MamaMax? Guess what? This is going to come as a shock to you. I didn't know who you are until I had to report on you for the after show.
Yep.
I did not care about what state you lived in or how you lived there or whatever. I did not care until you put it on the internet.
Yeah.
Topic with multiple videos coming out on the daily, many even from channels that I am very good friends with, channels like Oompaville, Noxtaku, a lot.
That didn't age well.
Content creators, even some that I've worked with on this project, have made follow-up pieces regarding this situation. Hello guys and gals, me Mutahar, and today we're going to be looking at a pretty interesting update regarding MamaMax. So about 7-8 months ago, I covered this individual who used to be a good friend of mine.
So no.
Sounds like these are all update videos to me. So it sounds like more information came out, so he covered it because I'm guessing a lot of people wanted to know his takes on it. Does that excuse him from being a piece of shit and talking about Tommy being put on suicide watch after he was falsely claimed, after MamaMax falsely insinuated that he touched his kids? No, not at all. But who the fuck cares that he made update videos? Sorry, not sorry, don't give a shit.
Are you repeatedly lying to your audience, but you are also choosing to defame and destroy someone who looked up to you like a brother, just because I made some mistakes in how I presented this case?
Because I made some mistakes.
Yeah,
some very lofty mistakes. Yeah,
you know, Chat GPT, not contacting real lawyers.
I didn't potentially ruin the life of one man or multiple people. I just made some mistakes.
Consolidating all the victims to one group chat so they could all get their story straight. No, just a couple of mistakes. Just a tad, teensy bit.
Since you have done everything in your power to ruin my life, I think
he could do a lot more to ruin your life.
Enjoy these next 3 hours with you.
Today, I personally don't consider this
flamboyancy of like how much, like how you're doing this out of spite and revenge. This doesn't feel like it's something where you're doing it for the right thing. You're doing it out of spite, brother. It doesn't feel good when you're watching this. This feels like a hit piece, not an actual report.
Yeah, it's not an expose. It's a, oh, you went after me, so I'm gonna go after you. Yeah. When at the end of the day, you're both covered in mud. Like,
friend, I consider them a liar, both professionally and on a personal level regarding very personal things.
Objection! So this is a smear tactic called poisoning the well. That is to prime the audience with adverse information about me from the start, in an attempt to make his claims more acceptable or discount the credibility of my claims.
Max, what was the last 10 minutes of this video? What was the last 10 minutes of this video, bro?
So Muta introduces his most serious video he might have made in his entire career on this platform by immediately labeling me a liar. He is doing this to position himself as the heroic, objective truth bringer who makes very serious videos, whilst I am the evil liar who lies about everything both professionally and personally.
But you have lied about everything professionally. At least on YouTube, you've literally admitted that almost none of your information in your freaking videos is true. Like, you've literally lied to your entire audience, bro. Like, it's not defamation if it's true. Like, that's just the bottom line.
Unlike Muta, I am actually going to prove to you that he is a liar.
You're $1 short and a day late, buddy. We all know this. You're a couple of months away. You're a couple of months behind, buddy. There was this whole Nugs Taku drama that occurred. Like, yeah.
But that's me going into things that I shouldn't need to.
So you literally admit you shouldn't be poisoning the well.
That's not what he said. He literally said he shouldn't be going into the personal aspects of why he no longer trusts you. Bro, oh my God, Max, you're bad at this. You're very bad, bro. Put the fries in the bag, man. You are terrible at this.
You did it anyway. Okay.
I also didn't want to make a video on this because I'm not an expert on the topics that we are completely discussing today.
And yet you have continued to make videos on this topic and speak as if you are the expert on the subject.
Which is hilarious because that one line alone, him being upset at Muta for covering something he's not an expert in, yet that's Max's entire grift on YouTube, is talking about something he's not an expert in. He's claimed he's not an expert in. So Max, take your own advice. Put down the Pro Tools, put down the freaking editing software, the microphone, and walk away.
Pretty funny, considering I've spoken to actual experts who seem to have a very different opinion than you.
I feel like I wouldn't have fallen for something like this when I was 16.
And this is actually a freaking bullet right here, okay? Watch what he does, and then we're going to play the entire clip of what Muta says.
I don't know.
Is that hard to say?
Right? Yes.
Look, yeah, this is the thing that, because I remember me and Jen were saying it. She was much rougher than I was. She was like, "Ain't no way any dumbass is falling for no vampire Twilight shit."
Not only.
So he cuts it right there, right? He cuts it right there. Let's go see what Muta actually freaking said.
Shit. And I'm sitting over there because I'm like, because I talked to some of these girls and it's like, it really feels, because I had to clarify. I'm like, did you go in there for the family aspect, right?
Yeah.
And I said family because I'm like, because all these girls, they didn't appear to have like good families at all. So I'm like, maybe you'll choose to fucking suspend belief or lie to yourself just so you can have that dynamic. Because I sit there and I tell Jen, I'm like, you and I both come from good families. Like, our mom and dad are in our lives. Like, if we ran away to a fucking vampire cult, they do everything to get us back. And it really seems like in this situation, the parents weren't involved. So these people just wanted like a fucking family life, and that's it. But that's the only way that I could even see myself sitting and saying maybe this is why they believe vampire shit.
Oh,
and so what's the next part of this video?
This is some of the most disrespectful shit I've ever heard a respected influencer say about cult survivors. It's also a harmful stereotype that has no basis in reality.
And the biggest vulnerability, I'd be going, I'm too smart. It would never happen to me. I'm too together. I know myself. I have good family, good education. And what I'm saying is, it happened to me.
You're not immune to cultic influence. Nobody is. And I know some of you are thinking that'll never happen to me. If you think you're not susceptible, you're more susceptible than you know.
You know, people have the idea that the people who get into cults have some kind of mental problems, and that's absolutely not the case.
But it could be anybody. They could be any race, any socioeconomic level. They could be rich, they could be poor, they could be young, they could be old, they could be highly educated or uneducated. But what I've seen, if I were going to pull a consistent thread through many of the cases that I've dealt with, it would be somebody who's not happy at a particular point in their life. These people were not dumb. They weren't illiterate. They were sophisticated, well-educated people. So I think if we think that we're not vulnerable, we're not really being honest with ourselves. Anyone can be had given the right set of circumstances and timing.
So
they're all saying there are certain things that could potentially allow this person to be had by a cult. Funny, because that's literally what Muta said. He literally says, I don't think anyone would fall for this unless maybe they have a terrible home life. They're running away. They just want a place to exist. They want a place to be accepted. They want a place to feel like they matter, right? And extenuating circumstances that led them to it. Same things that they use in order to recruit people for gangs. Max, why did you cut out the context? Why did you cut out the part in which he explains how he could potentially see them being tricked?
Make him sound worse.
Yeah, it specifically makes him sound worse.
That's the only reason. You're proving your point. You've made a point, but you're doing it in the worst way possible.
You're taking complete context out of it. He literally said, this is how I can see them joining it. You cut it off before then to make him look worse than he actually is, which is hard to do with Muta in this right now.
Public statements about this case, it is quite clear you are not an expert. In fact, you sound like a fucking moron.
Max. Little pot calling the kettle there, Max. Little projection there, Max.
This girl was 16 when she was that old.
At the time, yeah, supposedly.
Again, I don't want to be the asshole here, but like when I was 16, I had a job at that point, so I don't know how I was falling into vampires.
Well, you're Indian. You're smarter than most people.
Yeah, apparently not.
As you know, when I upload things to my channel, it can be about computer software, it can be about creepy games, it can be browsing the weirder side of the internet, like the deep web. It can be looking at trending things. It could be a bunch of stuff. Mostly lighthearted.
You know, like that lighthearted porn, lighthearted lighthearted red rooms, lighthearted child rings, lighthearted Epstein documents, and lighthearted zoo sadism.
You know, Daddy's hunted for a while. He knows.
You know what? You kind of got him there.
Hold on. Wait. MamaMax has gone the route of iDubbbz and is putting his own self-owns in his videos.
Yeah. Skinning an animal is like, let me tell you.
You know, all that lighthearted stuff.
And yes, I do occasionally dip into things that are very serious.
And who use lighthearted content with Sonic music.
No, but see, that's the thing. He literally unpauses when he says, and yes, I do occasionally dip into more darker things. Max, why are you putting your own L's in the video? He literally says mostly lighthearted content, right? Which is a majority of what he does. He covers freaking PCs and gaming, and occasionally he dips into the grotesque. He answered, like, this isn't an own, Max. It's a self-own. Like, there's nothing here. He answered your question. Like, I don't understand. I don't get it, dude. He literally he defended himself, and he didn't even know he had to.
I bet you all those videos that he picked from were all within like 3 years. Not like
they were
last month.
They were a while ago. That was back. Yeah, that was pretty far back in the Some Ordinary Gamers days.
Situations regarding, situations regarding trafficking and whatnot. I am not an expert. That is something for the law enforcement, for lawyers, for professionals to appropriately handle. I don't even think YouTubers should be the ones that are running cases like this, because in a vast majority of cases, most of them aren't well equipped.
I actually agree with this. These types of cases should be handled by the appropriate channels like law enforcement. However, the victims of this case already tried reporting these crimes to law enforcement with no success.
Maybe that's because law...
You know what that means?
The law enforcement, they have a higher threshold.
Perhaps that they're not corrupt, but that they don't have the evidence to indict the person on the crimes that you're accusing of. It's a shocker, I know.
They have a higher threshold for evidence than some freaking weirdo on the internet, Max.
So they decided to reach out to me to help cover their case.
Yeah, and I'm sure they're regretting it.
Which is something I've done many times before. And so have you.
And given the fact that kids are involved, it may actually even be criminal to an extent. So in conclusion, I gotta say, look, this video is a hard video to make. But what I do know about this video is we're all responsible. Okay, as a YouTube community, we need to raise awareness. Given that I'm on this platform, the strongest thing I can do is raise the awareness.
He's not running a case though, Max. He's just bringing awareness to something that's going on. And the funny thing is he says it could be criminal. He doesn't outright state that it is a criminal thing and that he's running an investigation into this. He's stating that he's bringing awareness to something. You are saying you are making a case against this person and are outright stating that he is a threat, that he is a pedophile. Like, they're not comparable, bro.
Oranges, bro. Apples to oranges.
They're not comparable.
But in this situation, this creator specifically that we are talking about is MamaMax. Now, MamaMax is a channel with 746,000 subscribers, a filmmaker dedicated to empowering children.
And in this situation, this creator specifically that we are talking...
but you didn't need to start your presentation with whatever his fucking name is, and then surprisingly, he didn't use your name. He just used MamaMax.
Muta, yeah.
Is Some Ordinary Gamers. Some Ordinary Gamers is a channel with several million subscribers. Let's plays, commentaries, reviews, hardcore raging. We're just a team of ordinary gamers. What did you expect?
Throughout his career, MamaMax has covered topics such as his Life Sucks series, anime reviews, but what most people know Max for is his Predator hunts, videos where Max claims to infiltrate dark corners of social media. He's made very popular videos and gained a lot of respect in the larger YouTube community.
Throughout his career, Muta has covered topics such as...
Oh my god, we're going 1 for 1 on the Max. You just look like a petty ex-girlfriend.
You just now realized that? I realized that. First time he paused and did the exact same thing. I was like, oh, so this is how we're going.
You look like a petty
style. We're going in the trenches.
A petty ex-girlfriend, bro.
His deep web exploration series, hentai reviews. But what most people know Muta for is videos where Muta claims to infiltrate dark corners of social media. He's made very popular videos and...
No, that is not what he's best known for. He's
best known for his mean face.
He's best. I'd have to say he did definitely ride that wave for a while.
A lot of respect in the larger YouTube community.
Predator hunting is a popular topic on the internet and YouTube in general, and it's seen a bit of a resurgence in recent years with very high-profile cases such as EDP-445.
All right, I gotta pause. I gotta pause for a second. The that Skeeter Jean guy, I used to like to watch him, but for some reason his level of comedy in these cases, when it's supposed to be serious, it really kind of made me not watch it anymore. Like he's trying to make lighthearted jokes about like the pedo while they're there, and it just, and the fact that the pedo never really reacts,
it just doesn't hit.
I don't. It doesn't feel like it's real. It feels like, oh yeah, he told me to just stand there and take my lumps.
Okay, like freaking what is it, Vigor, whatever. It's kind of like
Patty Mayo. It's kind of like Patty Mayo. You know who that is? It's like he's a fake. He sets up like these fake takedowns for it's kind of like Dog the Bounty Hunter.
Okay.
But he sets up fake ones. Sets up fake ones.
But that's the thing about all of this type of pedo shit on the internet. It's the internet. Not everyone's going to believe that it's real, especially when you're going over there and committing freaking assault on them, and there's no way they're going to get arrested.
Massive YouTube sting operation in an alleged meetup of a minor. Nowadays, the predator poaching channels that exist are a dime a dozen, and a big fear of these channels that a lot of the community has is that in the grand majority, for clicks and revenue, basic investigative and evidentiary rules aren't met, and law enforcement in many cases is not even involved until well after the fact.
So I can't really speak for other creators, but I think Muta is accusing me of never working with law enforcement.
Oh my god, bro. That's not at all what he said. What he said is that law enforcement isn't involved or roped into it until after the video's made, after the video's posted, after they got their views and their monetization. Jesus Christ, Max.
He does not provide any evidence for this claim. He just,
because he didn't claim anything. He's talking about it in the broad spectrum of things.
But this has never been true. He's even helped me out with previous cases where we literally made reports to the FBI and NCMEC together. So here's my typical process, okay? I begin recording everything on OBS when I get on the platform. As soon as I confirm I am talking to an adult that is trying to groom minors, we create a mega drive and upload our recordings to that drive. We then link that to an FBI cyber tip and continually update the drive with evidence until the investigation is complete, which is usually when we have video evidence to support our claims.
Would you want me to go up and
Okay, but you do realize you're missing the evidentiary part, right? The evidence has to be gathered in a specific way for it to be cross-examined and for it to withstand an investigation. That's the reason why police don't give out information to people during an investigation. Otherwise, that evidence could be tainted, or people's testimonies could end up being tainted because they already know some of the evidence that they have. Like, you're not listening to what he's saying, and I hate that you're making me stick up for Mutahar here. Jesus Christ.
You're not. You're claiming to build a case, but what you're doing is you're trying to be an expert in placing a well-informed tip, meaning you're trying to get evidence, but you're not getting it in the right way. You're not working. You're not in an agency crime wing. You are a tipper. You are a pro tipper.
You're not doing it the way you should be. You're not working in tandem with law enforcement. You're just telling them after the fact. That's it.
You're working adjacent to them and not being able to provide anything in like you're not doing anything.
Yeah, Max, after the 5 years of you doing this, or 10 years or whatever, don't you think that the fact that you never caught anyone or none of your cases moved forward, that maybe it was a you problem? That maybe the way you're going about it is not conducive to getting an actual arrest?
You said yeah.
However, even if you have evidence, depending on the jurisdiction, nothing will happen. Even EDP 445, who you literally say is a high-profile case, was let free.
Yes, because of the way it went about it. And you know what's funny? When Alex Rosen failed to get him into custody, he learned from it. He works in tandem with police now. Every time he fails, he learns what he needs to do in an effort within that jurisdiction in an effort to get them convicted. You do not. Max, you're posting your L's.
Because guess what, Mutahar? Even when crimes are committed, and you have evidence that crimes were committed, which by the way most young children do not have, predators still walk free in many cases, and there's multiple reasons why this happens. From the quality of the crime, the standard of proof, the investigation, and the prosecution. There are so many things that can go wrong, and often do go wrong, which is why Wayne Barnett, a serial predator that we exposed, was previously released from prison without serving any substantial amount of time, despite the fact that he literally admitted to committing crimes, and is still committing crimes to this day. We reported him months in advance to no success, which is why my videos have a call to action at the very end.
Okay, what's going on there, ma'am?
Yes, you're 100% right in the fact that it's an unfortunate system. But it doesn't help the fact that you're making a fucking movie out of it all. It doesn't help the fact that you're actively doing things that harm your own quote unquote investigations. It doesn't help the fact that you pretty much turn it into a show rather than anything else, rather than it being taken as serious as it should be.
So an individual named Camden Gerard Davis, more than likely resides at this, address. We believe that he is trafficking minors and has child on his devices. I'm actually a previous victim of his, and I have, substantial evidence related to this case.
So I actually have tried working with law enforcement many times, and I've encouraged others to...
Hold the fuck up. Hold the fuck up. Was that supposed to be you calling the police?
That was Spencer calling the police. It's the same thing that she used in the last video. But you see, here's the thing. In the last video, you even said that Spencer isn't a reliable narrator and owned her for lying about you. So why should we care about anything she has to say? She's literally your token victim here. She's the only one you got left. And you even said that she's not trustworthy, bro. So now it's literally just your word. That's it. That's all you got.
So as well.
If you are a victim and this ever happens to you, keep calling them and keep calling them and do not stop calling them until they do something.
You know what's funny is he could probably get a cease and desist from any local law enforcement that video was done about, because that's literally harassment, bro.
What you just do is call to harass the police.
Yes, you did a call to action to harass the police. You're fucking stupid.
Help! That person's being stabbed, but I don't see a knife. It just looks like they might be jerking him off.
But I guess since I didn't put a text graphic at the beginning of my video, which objectively proves Mutahar has in fact worked with law enforcement for these videos, that must mean I never worked with them.
It's crazy how you're arguing this. He's arguing this point that was never made. Mutahar never said that he didn't work with law enforcement. He just simply said that in most cases, law enforcement isn't roped into it until after the fact. That's literally it. Max, you're projecting. You're projecting. Why do you think he's talking about you? Is it potentially because maybe the shoe fits?
Caused a serious problem in letting actual evil people walk free because of technicalities and failing to follow basic evidentiary patterns.
Yes. Evil people walk free because of me, MamaMax.
He didn't say... Bro, you ever get into an argument with your girl and you're like, I just need some space, or, I just need a little time to myself. And it's like, why do you want to break up? It's like, whoa. I didn't say that. I just said I just want a little me time. What, am I not good enough for you? That's not what I said. I just said I want to like relax. I just want to chill. Who else are you talking to? It's like, what the fuck are you mean?
Those are some crazy conclusions you're jumping to.
Yeah.
You don't skip leg day, do you? Damn.
Freaking Mr. Fantastic levels of reaching over here. Jesus Christ.
It has nothing to do with the countless historical and systemic issues with CSA cases that enable predators to commit crimes without consequence. No one else should be held accountable for these problems, not even the predators themselves. MamaMax is the primordial source
That was
for
so
why
painfully like some type of indoctrination, and they're like, just show Muta's face and then immediately show red flashing back and forth. Are you kidding me?
It's all an act. It's all just movie.
Muta alone has a whole defamation suit right here in the form of a video.
It's just crazy. Max, nobody said your name. What? Like, this is just more of him being like, the commentary cabal is after me. The cabal is after me. They're gonna come after me. They want my Lucky Charms. Meanwhile, Camded is over there like, oh, this is a pretty good video. Mama, do we have any more grilled cheese? Oh, his dad's not around. You see him? All right, back to
what did we change the name for again? For us to last for a week.
walk free.
When in realistic fashion, if law enforcement was involved, these people would be tried in a court of law.
In realistic fashion, law enforcement involvement does not guarantee that a predator will be arrested and tried in a court of law.
That's facts. I'll give him, that's true, 100% true. I mean, Muta is talking indefinite there, or not indefinite, but he is talking in action, fuck, I forget the name of the word. But yeah, he's talking like it's 100% fact, but it's not true. But if they are involved, there's a higher chance of them being tried in a court of law.
Take months, sometimes even years, of reporting a single predator before an investigation even begins, especially in cybercrime. Predator. It can take months, sometimes even years, of reporting a single
Oh, Danny Van Lewis, Mike. Okay, I thought I saw freaking what's his face from To Catch a Predator
before an investigation.
Nope, Vanity. Nope. No, it's not him. It's a different person.
Sometimes
it's Oddwire.
Truth about Davi Vanity. That's who it is. It's not
years of reporting a single.
Because I was gonna say, if he did use him, like that's a perfect example of somebody who fucked up catching predators. If you don't know, like the first 2 seasons or so of To Catch a Predator, the guy who was on there, like he even explains this too, that most of them had to go free because they weren't following the rules of evidentiary evidence gathering, of like what they were doing. Like a lot of them ended up getting off on technicalities because of it. I forget the name of it.
Mind you, you want to know how that happened? Was because the network, ABC, saw the popularity of a one-time session or section in a news reporting video, and they realized the amount of uptick in views on that, and they were like, we like money, so let's make more. So then they had to change and pivot and make it a whole ass show.
Mm-hmm.
Before an investigation even begins, especially in cybercrimes with anonymous offenders.
That said, MamaMax has committed almost every single sin in the book.
I can't wait for you to provide some type of evidence to prove this theory of yours over the next hour of your video. Although it's hard to distinguish which sins I've committed when you don't even source the exact book that I'm supposedly breaking the rules of.
Bro, you're not, there's no way you're taking yourself seriously, man. there's no way. Max, it's Jover, bro. It's been Jover.
I understand it's a figure of speech. It's actually another ad hominem attack, where he continues to discredit me by using vague black and white terms, instead of providing any facts up front.
In the hunt for who he believes is one of
psychology or reverse psychology. It's reverse psychology. Ooh.
I mean, an ad hominem can be used, yes, but he is Hopefully we're going to see how he lays it out.
Most evil predators currently walking in the world today.
I don't see the world in black and white terms like good and evil. I recognize that reality is far more complex, and predators suffer from unresolved trauma caused in their own childhoods. Rather than resorting to tribalistic labels like good and evil to justify the harm we inflict on one another, we should...
Oh my God, the moral grandstanding. Get off your soapbox, bro. Jesus Christ.
Prioritizing restorative justice and invest in mental health resources to break the cycle of suffering.
90%.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did MamaMax just say that predators they just need therapy? Is that what he just said?
Invest in mental health resources to break the cycle of suffering.
Oh, that's right. Pedophiles, they just need to talk about it, bro. And then they're going to be okay. It doesn't matter if they touched a bunch of kids. They just, as soon as they sit down with Dr. Lupo or freaking some psychologist, they're going to be good and cured. You see, Max, I'm just doing exactly what the fuck you do. Taking something completely out of context and throwing something that is the most heinous version of it.
90% of people who are murderers in this country have a whole conglomeration of what are termed adverse childhood experiences that set you up for a brain that has a whole lot of trouble with empathy and impulse control and long-term planning and things of that sort. And then we invent words like evil.
So why am I talking about him so negatively now?
Because you were harassed by cancel culture to disavow me after I fake canceled a very popular YouTuber just to bring a...
Oh my God, again with the fake cancel. Bro.
What?
You didn't fake cancel.
What?
It backfired, man.
You tried.
You tried.
You made an attempt.
You
failed.
You thought.
You failed.
You sent a shot thinking that the commentary community would be too scared to question you because of the volatile nature of what it is that you cover, and you were wrong. You might have fired the first shot, but bro, you got lined up in a firing squad.
I was going to say, you fired the first shot and got the firing squad back.
Yeah. he had a pistol. The rest of them had like freaking machine guns.
I still believe is of great importance. And although I did make mistakes, and I do take accountability for those mistakes.
You haven't taken accountability once. Not once, dude. You haven't taken any accountability. What do you mean?
Unlike you, who is too pathetic to take any accountability for your own actions in this situation.
I have to agree. I do agree with that. Muta hasn't taken any accountability. I will say that.
All he did was
you
run
want to
away
pin
from
the blame of everything
for a little bit, and then he was like, he came back and he had like nothing happened.
Yup, pretty much.
Me, and it's arguable that you have been more vocal and have had a much greater impact on the outcome of this case than I ever did. And then when I try to hold you accountable for your own actions, you try to tell everyone that I'm shifting the blame, when that's actually what you are doing. That is why you're talking about me so negatively now.
Because again, like I said, Max has recently made several videos, 3 in particular, making what I believe to be a mockery of these types of serious investigations.
Oh, my videos were a mockery.
Is he accusing Mutahar of being a crab in a bucket? Is that what he's accusing him of? Like, oh, you made me bad, so now I'm bad. What type of reverse psychology bullshit is this?
He's trying to cling on to any notion of his character, but there is none left, Max. There's 0 left.
Destructive cults are not just issues in distant lands or plot lines and
this is such a manipulative fucking video format, bro.
Shows.
But yours and your friends were not?
This is gonna make me look bad, by the way. This is gonna make us all look bad, apparently.
This was
that's a good point. Yeah, she put a message out and was like, "Oh, I actually look really good in that call." So the jokes on it, they released it. Yeah, nice.
I've seen ghosts. I look great in this call.
Yeah, wait, she said she looked great in this call?
Yeah.
Oh, she's still retarded.
Yeah, dude.
Making what I...
They didn't make a mockery out of your victims or anything. They made a mockery out of you incessantly trying to push a narrative that had 0 weight behind it. This is why I say Max and Flamenco are two peas in a pod. They're not understanding why people are mad with them. They're not understanding why people are making fun of them. They're not understanding why people don't believe them or find them to be credible. His whole thing is
shot in the face, but I don't understand why I'm bleeding.
Their whole thing is they're making fun of rape victims. Where's the evidence? I'm sorry, I'm not trying to be Hassan here, but like, where's any evidence whatsoever that any of this occurred? Like, there's zero. Freaking Spencer can't even prove, like, she obviously got from wherever the fuck she lived in Texas or whatever to freaking wherever the fuck Camded supposedly lives, but she can't even provide bus tickets and cab fare or anything like that showing how she got there. Supposedly she just freaking Jedi mind tricked the bus driver to drive her there without having any money. That makes total sense.
A mockery of these types of serious investigations. Max has covered a story he claims is peppered with human trafficking, cult worship, and brainwashing, and violent abuse. Topics that are incredibly serious, and as I've said, I am not a key expert on.
You see, you keep saying that, but you continue to speak as if you are the expert.
I am not an expert.
I mean, I see what he's saying on that one. Like, yeah, like, that guy's not an expert, but you're not either. Like, I get that aspect. Yeah,
but you can still, you can not be an expert, but
you can still speak from a
know
place
something.
of like, yeah. You can know more. You can know more.
It's the same thing. It's like, I'm not a lawyer, but I also know that the only way you can be held in contempt of court is if you're in a fucking court.
Now, listen, I'm not a lawyer, but I did pass the bar. Okay, I mean,
this isn't Suits, okay? But that's what I'm saying. You don't have to be an expert to have certain knowledge or to understand how royally Max fucked this whole thing up. You also don't have to be an expert in biology to understand
black and white.
Yeah,
it's not black and white.
It's not black and white, but you also don't have to be an expert or in biology to understand that it doesn't really jive with human biology for Spencer to have gotten pregnant 3 times in like or 4 times over 3 months or something like that. Like, you don't have to be an expert to know these things.
MamaMax has committed almost every single sin in the book because I'm not an expert. As I've said, I am not a key expert on. Look, I'm not an expert.
If you are not an expert, then why do you continue to speak on this topic as if you are the expert?
Hey, Max. Hey, Max. Same question to you, buddy. If you're not an expert, why do you keep on talking like you are one? Mr. Allegations are evidence. Mr. ChatGPT understands the law. Bro.
Topics where real victims exist and continue to exist on a daily basis.
This is true. Real victims continue to exist on a daily basis. So why then did you ignore them and prioritize covering Sniper Wolf drama that is already getting covered by everyone else when these real victims were just asking for 15 minutes?
Not even because money, because there was actual evidence that Sniper Wolf did something wrong. She doxed another content creator. Not only was there evidence, Sniper Wolf posted her own evidence of doing it.
Of your attention.
So let's get started. This is the story of how MamaMax has failed what he considers a very serious investigation, and a prime example of how YouTubers should not be involved with serious situations like this.
So that concludes the introduction for MamaMax is a complete fraud. Let's review what Muta said here. He claims that this is his most serious video. He then lies about not wanting to make this video, which...
You can't prove that that's a lie. You can't prove that he didn't want to make this video. I don't know if you've noticed, but I'm kind of sick right now. I don't really feel like doing this, but MamaMax decided to freaking dump a 3-hour video on the weekend that I'm fucking sick. I'd rather be in bed and chilling and hanging out, but you know what? Money. But it's also good because it's entertainment.
Why did you make it? He doesn't consider me a friend anymore. Same to him. He poisons the well for the audience, saying that...
Same to you.
Bro wants to be a cinematic development. or have cinematic product, but he's got text that could barely be seen.
Yeah. He should have put that over on the right side where it would have been better with a black drop.
So fucking dark. Or I don't know, the dark abyss of that corner of the bottom right hand corner. Jesus.
Yeah, well, we don't know how many.
So much real estate. You chose up there.
We don't know how many points he's gonna make.
And apparently he is not. He then admits he has no reason to be poisoning the well.
That's not what he admitted. He literally said that he doesn't want to, that he's not going to get into the personal drama. That's what he said. Max, if he's guilty of poisoning the well, you're guilty of misinterpreting everything that he's saying. You're guilty of disingenuous. We even played 2 freaking clips already within the first 25 minutes that destroy your arguments here. Well, I wouldn't say destroy your arguments, but at least give better context to the lie you're trying to push, the narrative you're trying to push.
He's not an expert on this topic. He makes lighthearted content. He sometimes dips into serious stuff. He's not an expert on this topic.
Bro, I don't need his eHarmony page, okay? I don't need his freaking Tinder profile. Like, none of, like, the last 4 doesn't matter. He makes,
wait a minute. He's got a lot of money. I might, okay? Calm down with your statements here.
He's
got a lot of money. He was willing to give Gerard Davis a fucking blank check just for his legal costs. Do you know what lawyers are?
That's true. That's
a
true.
blank check for a lawyer? Then make them come on the spot, Complexity. And he's willing to sign that check.
These topics. He gives an overview of my channel. He implies that I hunt for clicks and revenue. He blames me for systemic issues with CSA
Why
cases.
else would you do it?
No, this
Why
freaking
else would you do it?
Number 13 is so bullshit.
Hunt for clicks and revenue. He blames me for systemic issues with CSA cases.
He's in the 25 minutes, he has never blamed you for that, Max. Oh my
Even
God.
if he did, he wouldn't be wrong because this is part of the problem with the modern age of having CSA cases.
Yes, it is the problem with YouTubers thinking, Max, you have an incorrigible, I think that's the right word, incorrigible fucking savior complex, bro. You are wanting to white knight, yes, definitely for some of the most heinous of cases. Totally understand. Good on to you for that. But get your head out of your fucking ass.
He spreads misinformation about law enforcement.
He didn't spread any misinformation about law enforcement. What? Simply because he said that, oh my God, simply because he turned around and said that, oh yeah, if this was brought with law enforcement, they'd get sent to jail. Okay, sure. He was wrong about that. I wouldn't really call it misinformation.
He says I committed every single sin in the book. He claims my videos are a mockery of serious investigations, even though he never had a problem beforehand. And also he seems to think he and his friends are exempt from this criticism for some reason. He's not an expert on this topic, and victims continue to exist on a daily basis. So out of this entire introduction, I think he only states 2 facts. I would say that him not being an expert is factual, but technically expertise can be viewed as subjective, so I'll give him that one. But he made some very big claims for this introduction, yet failed to provide any evidence to support these claims. But Max, that's what the rest of the video is for. And we will get to that. But he did spend the entire introduction just assassinating my character before providing any facts, to set the stage for the audience on the story he wants to tell, which is actually the opposite of objective, a word he really likes to label himself as.
You can be objective prior to having all the information, and then once you have that information, you are no longer objective because you have come to a conclusion, not a foregone conclusion, not a freaking not a conclusion prior to having evidence. He looked at your evidence and went, "That doesn't smell right." Like, you fucking moron. Oh my God.
Start off with the story. The story begins on October 3rd, 2023, where Matt.
Oh my gosh. I guess that's the first portion. That's the first segment. My God. I wonder if there's going to be anything better, but I guess we'll have to wait and find out. Tune into the next one to see the rest of all of this, whatever this is. This is ground beef at this point. All right, you guys, appreciate everyone who's tuned in and everybody who's leaving a comment, like, subscribe, and tell us what you think about the new name change. We do, we appreciate everyone who's joined us and who was here with us for the after show, but we're moving forward as the lasting opinion. So, you know what? If you're only here because of the topics that you thought we were going to be covering in the lolcow stuff and you want to leave, we totally understand. But we're going to be getting more into the commentary space and be doing more things like that. And we hope that you all enjoy the upgrades. Until next time, I've been your host, Kmplxity, along with my co-host, Zeph. And we'll see you in the next one.
Thanks for watching.
Chaos brews inside the room. Voices of contention blooms. The king's eyes filled with boiling rage. Zeph steps up to the high stage. Explode the silence, break the chains. Never been a better name in the game. In this blood cast fiery flame, words like bullets in your brain. Don't forget to have a smirk. Plexus